Kelly Vaughn. Welcome to Inside Indy. Been thinking about traveling. How about a staycation someplace close to the Indianapolis area, north of Indy? It's Carmel, or is it Carmel? We're going to find the answer to that question. Dan McFeely is with the city of Carmel. He is with the Economic Development and Community Relations Department. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So which is it, Carmel or Carmel?
Oh, it is definitely Carmel.
It is Carmel.
You want the way to remember is that we are so sweet. We're like a caramel.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That other
Gotcha.
Carmel, that's out in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is officially the Carmel, and we are the Carmel.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us what you do as a part of the Economic Development and Community Relations.
Sure. So my job is half economic development, half relations with media, with the community, outreach, having roles at various programs and things like that. The other half is working for the mayor to try and bring in new companies and new jobs and making sure our existing small businesses are taken care of for some of the issues that may have. So I wear lots of different hats.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I bet your hands are full. There's a lot going on in Carmel. It's growing in leaps and bounds, right? So tell us about some of the growth in Carmel.
Sure. So most of the growth in Carmel is taking place in our central corridor. That's where the Monon Trail is, the Monon Greenway. We have a lot of new companies that are moving into that area, which we now call Midtown. So we have our Arts and Design District, which is right on Main Street. More than 100 different businesses related to art or design. And then we have our city center, which is where the Palladium is, and the Center for the Performing Arts, and it's where Actors Theater of Indiana puts on their great shows. And then in between, we have this old industrial area that was really sitting there doing nothing. So over the past couple years, we've been expanding the trail. So you've been on the Monon Trail before. It's going from a single lane to about 120 feet wide with additional lanes, additional green spaces, and we're putting together a little Midtown Plaza. It's this grand public space that will open up probably early summer of this year, and it'll be a place for people to gather, do some outdoor fun activities like play some adult games out in the grass. There'll be a giant video board. We can show movies. We'll have a stage for concerts. It's going to be a fun thing. It's right next to the new Sun King Distillery. So that part of Carmel is blossoming a lot, and a lot of it will come to fruition this year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Now, when I think about Carmel, I think of a cool place to go. I love the Carmel Fest.
Yes.
Which brings to mind things that families can do.
Absolutely.
And for free. Lots going on, lots of opportunities, right?
Yeah, especially when you think about Carmel, we're all about the arts, and it's not just painting and that kind of thing. It's also the art of music. So every Wednesday night throughout the summer, we have concerts at the Gazebo, which is right there at City Hall. Those are free. We have some great bands that come in. On Saturdays, we have the Farmers Market, which is a huge draw for families right there at Center Green. There's always music playing there. Friday nights, we'll have music on the Monon.
Music on the Monon.
Music on the Monon. So
They walk and play at the same time?
No. A lot of people, we say it's on the Monon because it's right on the Monon, and it's right in that Center Green area. A lot of people ride their bikes down. They'll park their bikes and sit in the lawn, bring their little coolers or a little bottle of wine, sit there and enjoy the music on a Friday night. And then probably one of the more exciting things that we started just a couple years ago is Late Night on Main. So we have 3 late nights on Main scheduled, and that's where we shut down Main Street from one end of the block to the next, and we erect a huge stage across, and we stay open until midnight. So from about 9 o'clock to midnight, there's live music in the street. All the restaurants and the pubs are serving food. The shops are staying open late, and it's just a huge party. And over the last couple of years, they have grown tremendously. We draw thousands of people to these events, and it's a really fun time. The reason we do it, not just to give families something to do, but also to support our businesses. Our business community on Main Street is very important to us, and so we want them to be able to attract some new people in. So we do that by holding these great events.
Wow. Yeah. Do you see an influx of people moving to Carmel? And if so, where are they coming from? Are they coming from Indianapolis or from other parts of the country?
Sure. So just today, we celebrated a big announcement from a company called BC Forward that they were going to hire 300 new people for their IT company. 2 days ago, we had another company called Zotec is going to build a 5-story building on US 31 and hire another 300 employees. all these companies that hire these employees, the employees come from somewhere. Lots of times they're coming from college campuses. So kids in college who come out with skills that I never had when I went to school are getting their first jobs, and they're moving to Carmel into one of the new apartment communities or a condo or something like that. And they're coming from everywhere. And then there are also the West Coast and the East Coast where the greatest concentration of these jobs are. We have people coming to Carmel because they've reached a point in their career where it's time to have a family. So they're looking for good schools, they're looking for safe neighborhoods. They're not necessarily seeing that in downtown Chicago or out in San Francisco or New York. And so they're looking for maybe a more balanced community. So they're moving in from there. And by the way, they're absolutely stunned that the housing prices on the East Coast and West Coast are a little bit different than they are in Carmel. They can get some pretty nice homes for what they're paying for out there, and that's another draw that people want that. It gives them more spending money so they can go out and do things for their families.
Or they can just have more space, like if you're in New York City, for
that is true.
1,000 square feet.
And don't forget the roundabouts. The roundabouts are very important.
Okay.
We have 122 now.
Yeah, I want to talk about those roundabouts.
Yeah, let's talk about them. Yeah.
I like them. But on Keystone, 96th Street,
Yes.
coming from Allisonville Road to Keystone, it took me an hour and a half to get through there the other day.
That's Fishers. 96 in Allisonville's Fishers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's kind of
but by the time I get to Keystone, am I not in Carmel?
Okay, so you're going that way.
Yeah, I was coming east.
Okay.
I was going west. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
96th Street there is under construction.
Yeah.
That'll be done by the end of the year.
Oh my God, we're not gonna make it, Dan. We're not gonna make it. You gotta do something. That's insane. And I think honestly, what's slowing it down? I love the roundabouts because they're very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, but because of that up there, it's slowing down the momentum. It's making it because you have all those car dealerships and they have those big trucks, you know, with the 10 cars on the back, and so they're stuck on the roundabout. We're like stuck trying to get there. It took an hour and a half the other day, and I don't even live in Carmel. I live in Traders Point.
But you use the word momentum, and that's what roundabouts do. They give you that momentum. What takes them away are the stoplights. And when we're all done, we'll have one stoplight left in Carmel.
Get rid of the stoplight at Keystone.
Oh, we are.
What the heck? Are you going to make that a roundabout? Are you kidding?
It'll be elevated. Keystone Parkway will go up and over 96th Street, and the roundabouts will be like interchanges. Just like the rest of Keystone. They're all like that.
Because I see something going up, like you're building something. It's gonna be
they're
interesting.
lifting the road up and over so that the majority of the traffic, which is trying to get to downtown or on 465, they won't even stop. They'll just go up, over, and onto 465.
Wow.
Be much more safe. That safety is the biggest reason we do that. We don't have T-bone crashes in Carmel anymore. We don't have a lot of fatalities because when there are accidents, they're in a roundabout and they're hitting the sides, And we have our accidents. We always do.
The people that don't kind of get that, it takes a little concentration sometimes.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not trying to run a red light. That's where people
You're
get
not
killed.
intersecting. So okay,
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay. You give me that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We'll cut you some slack today. I'm just not going down 96th Street anytime soon. The end of the year, perhaps.
Fair enough.
Other events you have going on. You have something coming up May 24th.
Yes, that's our Memorial Day ceremony. Every year we pay great honor to our veterans. Carmel's home to a lot of veterans. Well, Central Indiana is home to a lot of veterans. And we have our Veterans Plaza, which is located right across from Center Green, a beautiful statue that was commissioned by the city. We do this program where there's a speaker, and then we play taps, and you lay roses at the statue.
Nice.
It's very beautiful. And this year we have an incredible speaker. And I will look down because I can't remember his name.
That's okay.
Ernie Lorch. Ernie Lorch has quite a story. So Ernie was born in Germany. And before it got really, really bad over there, he escaped. If people might remember the night called Kristallnacht, which was the night of the broken glass. It's when things got really ugly and people saw what the Nazis were really all about. His family escapes. They come over to America. He is of the age to enlist in the American military. So he's one of our boys fighting for us, goes back and finds himself in Germany and becomes a British intelligence person who is charged with helping to interrogate German soldiers.
Wow.
He ends up helping us win the war against his old country.
Are you serious?
And he's coming to speak and tell his story. So we're
Wow.
very excited about that.
But where is he from? So he's coming into the Indy.
Well, he's in the United States now.
Okay. So I was thinking we need to get him on here too.
Well, I think we know someone who could make that happen.
Okay. Meg Osborne.
So yeah, it's an
Wow,
exciting event, free, open. Really encourage kids to come if they can, because you do learn a lot. But it's certainly open to the veterans and moms and dads. And we do these events because we want to educate our young generations that these things really happened. It's important for you to know
Right,
this.
right.
So just
That's
doing our
interesting.
part, yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. Okay, any other activities you want to tell us about?
Well,
that are
I
coming
mean,
up?
there's so much. I got this little brochure here. In fact, if you go to the City of Carmel website,
Okay.
carmel.in.gov, these little pamphlets are on there. But
Okay.
I mean, just looking through some of the stuff we do. So I talked earlier that Carmel's all about art. We also are about the art of wine. We love wine.
Now you're talking.
So on July 20th, we have the Art of Wine, and that's where, again, we shut down Main Street, and we have about 19 or 20 wineries from all over Indiana come in and set up their booths. You buy a glass to get in, $20 I think for the glass. Otherwise, it's free. You can walk through if you want. $20 for the glass, and you walk through and you free sample your way from booth to booth. There's live music, there's food. It's a great
Nice.
celebration. We also have the Carmel International Arts Festival. Actually, one of the longest running events that we've had in Carmel. They started small, but they keep getting bigger every year. This is not just your arts and craft festival. These are true artists, and they have to submit applications to be accepted in order to have a booth. So the quality of the art that you see in that event, which is in, hang on, September 28th and 29th.
Okay.
And the only other event I want to, well, two more events I'll talk to you about. One is called Porch Fest. I don't know if you've heard of Porch Fest or not. Okay, so there are older neighborhoods north of Main Street where these beautiful old homes are, and some new homes too. And we invite these bands in, mostly small bands, and we take over all the streets, and they play off the front porches of these houses. And people, it's free of charge again. You stroll through the streets, you hear music you like, you stop, maybe you pop up your chair, you got your cooler, there's food trucks. It's on a Sunday afternoon, and it's wonderful. And that is on September the 15th. And then, so I'm a cat person. Do you like cats or dogs?
Yeah, I don't have any, but I like cats.
Okay, I have two cats, and I just love them. But no one else likes cats. In Carmel, it's all about the dogs. So we have the Art of the Dog, and that's where people bring their dogs down to the Arts and Design District. And last year, we did it for the first time. You had your little doggies, they would put their paws in paint, and they would do their own artwork, and then you could take it home with you.
Oh,
We had people taking portraits of you with your pets. It's kind of a dog thing. And it was okay, but for a cat lover.
I love it. I love
So September 21st is that. And so like I said, all these things are on the City of Carmel website if you want to look it up.
Okay.
Almost all of them are free. All of them are family friendly. And
that's what it's about.
Yeah, it is.
Free and family.
That's right.
Coming together and having
That's
a good
right.
time in
Yeah.
Carmel. All
That's
right.
right.
Dan McFeely, thanks so much for joining us
Thanks for having me. It was wonderful.
on Inside Indy. And we'll be back with more here on Inside Indy after this. And we're back here on Inside Indy, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous. We have FBI agents in the studio. Okay, they're former FBI agents, but nonetheless, the FBI, which makes anybody a little nervous because we feel like, am I under investigation? Of course not. In the studio with us is Doug Coons, and then there's Kathy Geider, and they are now running their own business where they do investigations and beyond called Veracity IIR.
Correct.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you understand why it makes me nervous that you're here?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, because I think it's like the FBI, they're out there somewhere, and we never really see them. In fact, this is the first time I've ever met FBI agents before, so this is pretty cool. But wow, okay, but we're happy to have you here. Tell us about Veracity IIR, what it is, and why you're doing it.
Well, we're a private investigation company. We also do security consulting and we provide IT security service as well as specialized training for law enforcement, private security forces, and the public. As I neared my retirement eligibility, it was an idea that I had. I had attained a master's in business administration while I was with the Bureau, so I thought, why not put my experience and my business degree together and start a new company?
Okay. Okay. You want to add to that, Kathy?
Well, I, was also an agent for 23 years, and Doug came to me and said he had this idea to open his own business upon retirement, and he kind of pitched the idea to me, and it sounded good. It sounded like we got to be the bosses, and we got to decide what to do, and I thought, I'm eligible also for retirement, so this sounds like a good thing.
Okay. What's it like, and I want to talk more about the business, but I want to go into your background a little bit. What's it like to be an FBI agent, and is it like what we see in the movies?
I'll start with that and say no.
No? Okay.
It's nothing like the movies. In fact, I think most people would find it very boring on a day-to-day basis. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of research and investigation, either through social media, databases. So there's a lot of time spent at your desk for that one day of a raid or an arrest. So whereas on TV, you're going to see action in the first 15 minutes of an hour sitcom or an hour TV show, and then maybe action at the end of the show.
Right. Yeah, it's not all jumping out of helicopters and kicking indoors with the vests on and guns drawn. It's, we're formerly accountants and lawyers and business people, and that's a lot of what we do is sifting through financial records and communications and looking for those needles in the haystack, and it's not always that exciting. At the end of a long investigation, yeah, that might happen, but it takes a long time to get there.
Build up to that. But I do understand there is a picture of you guys with that, with machine guns or something. I mean, it's kind of a James Bond thing going on there, huh?
Well,
That's what I hear.
If you look at our Facebook page, you'll find that picture. There's a few other action shots from our former days as agents, because like I said, there are days when you do have the exciting moments.
Okay, can you tell us about one of those exciting moments for you and an exciting moment for you? And I'm not belittling what you've done as far as the investigation part, but again, that's the way we envision what you do.
Well, we can't really talk about specific cases that we've worked, but Kathy and I were on a team called Special Operations Group, which supported the higher priority cases of the division, and occasionally we would be deployed nationwide to support other divisions' high priority cases where they needed extra resources. And it was those more high profile things that would often culminate in those SWAT type, we weren't SWAT, but SWAT type operations where you had to suit up and go help get the bad guys.
So you'd be typically involved in this, say for example, this big investigation of the celebrities who got their kids into college by paying the universities. Is that typically what a similar case that the FBI would be involved in?
Yes, because the FBI would look at probably the financial side of it and how the money flowed and through what organizations, what banks and things of that nature. So they would look at that side of it most likely.
So, okay. So another option for career would probably be a reporter, because you have to do so much research and sifting. You probably know how to research and sift better than the average reporter, I would think.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
We do spend a lot of time researching public source documents, open source, whether it be social media accounts or just different databases, and just looking to see what's out there about somebody.
Okay.
So we do spend a lot of time researching.
Okay, so let's talk about Veracity then, this business that you have now. So the viewers out there watching, who might call on you, and what would be a scenario or a situation that I might be in that I would call on you as opposed to just calling the police?
A lot of our clients are attorneys who are involved in civil litigation and they need witnesses found that have been lost. A lot of times the litigation doesn't take place till years after the incident occurred and the people involved have moved or disappeared otherwise. We're really good at finding people. So we'll first track them down, and then they want them interviewed to get a good detailed account of what happened, what they saw, what their role was, what they thought other people's roles were in these, locating documents, locating assets. That's a big part of what we do. Other clients would be businesses who might have employees who've been stealing from them, and they might not really want to go external until they have a good idea that that is what happened. Then it might turn into a law enforcement referral.
Sometimes business due diligence, if one company is getting ready to buy another company, they want to know more about that company. They want to know about the executives of the company they're getting ready to buy and maybe what's happened behind the scenes. And we can do those type of investigations as well.
Okay, so how is how you research different than the average person? It seems like you've got something on us.
Well, just a lot of experience,
The
first of all,
databases that you're
and
able to
then
tap
and then
into.
being licensed private investigators, we have access to paid databases that everybody else does not.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's very fascinating.
And we also have a network of
Yes.
resources from people that we've met through our 20-plus year careers, whether it be in banking, whether it be in law enforcement.
Relationships.
Relationships that we've formed over the years that we can reach out and ask for, guidance and advice or just general information that they can sometimes provide us that helps us in our investigation.
There's actually a formal network of former FBI agents that exists that you can look to, and if you need help in another region of the United States or even abroad, if I needed help in, say, Los Angeles, I can look in our directory and find an agent that has a private investigation business there. And there's quite a few, actually. If there's someone I know and I've worked with before, I tend to call that person. Or if not, I'll just choose one and say, hey, I need you to help me find this person in Los Angeles. Could you find him for me and do an interview? Or can you retrieve these records from the courthouse there and FedEx them to me? And that's very helpful as well.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Very, very fascinating. Now, Doug, I know you're involved in the Westminster neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about that. You serve that area as well?
Yes, I'm on the board of directors of the Westminster Neighborhood Association, or Westminster Neighborhood Service. It's a charity that serves the Near East Side of Indianapolis.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. And what's going on in that particular neighborhood?
It's just an underserved neighborhood that needs a little bit of help, and so Westminster does a variety of things to raise money, to provide clothing, food, education, medical services, and other things to help those people.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. So you're deeply involved in that. Wow. All right.
They're having an event tomorrow night. Actually, it's called the Food Fight, and it's their main fundraising event, and
Okay.
it's local high school students they're involved in culinary classes with their schools, and they're involved in a food competition using only the food pantry event ingredients from
Okay. It's kind of like one of those.
facility, yeah, like
food
Chop,
shows.
like Chop, yeah, kind of similar to the show Chopped, and so they try to come up with something special from those ingredients, and so that's the
You
contest.
got to use whatever you got to
Right.
get it going. So, well, if someone is interested in Veracity IIR, how can they get in touch with you? What is that process?
You can go to our website, veracityIIR.com. Our phone number is 317-564-8383.
Okay, okay, and they can just look you up if
Look us up.
They want to tap into your services. Let me ask you this then: for somebody out there who's watching, that's man, I'd like to do that. I'm really good at researching, and I'd love to be an FBI agent. What does it take to be one? And I know that's been years ago when you signed up, but
Well, I was an applicant coordinator for the FBI for several years, so I can speak to that. You have to be an agent, you have to have a 4-year college degree and at least 3 years full-time work experience.
okay,
And so that degree can be in anything. People tend to think you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an accountant, but we hire people from a wide variety of backgrounds.
okay, but just those
We also
requirements?
have the professional side of the house, that if you don't want to be an agent and you don't want to carry a gun and be the one to kick in the door and do that, we also have the professional staff side. And the requirements are just, you have to be at least 18 years of age, a U.S. citizen, and then meet the requirements for the specific job posting that you're applying for.
Okay, okay. Well, we appreciate you both coming in and sharing your stories with us and telling us about your new business, Veracity IIR. Kathy Geider and Doug Coons, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kelly Vaughn. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.